welcome to, or welcome back to Total Spotfest. Like I always do this back. You're coming back in. I'm giving a visual cue for those of you listening to us here. Back. This is JJ. That is Jamie. We're coming back at you. We got not the busiest of weeks of wrestling, but some big stuff did indeed happen. Last night was Grand Slam.
Lots to unpack from that.
Yeah, Grand Slam Part 2 occurred in Queens. A couple other things, some local stuff happening here in Kansas City. So those of you watching, those of you listening, thank you for giving us some of your time. We do appreciate it. If you are watching us on YouTube, drop a comment down below, join the conversation. You can hit us up on Twitter. Otherwise, that's at Total Spotfest. And I'm moving right through your scissoring, man. I'm
sorry.
I am focused.
All those listening on your local podcast support. I was just scissoring case.
He's trying to throw me off my game, so it happens.
Me? No.
Indeed. Jamie, how has your week been, man? Now that we're actually in fall, today being the first day of fall officially.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it too.
After being 100 degrees like 4 days ago, it's like 60 something. It's fantastic.
So it's been great. Installed a new sink that only took 2.5 months for us to get. That was really exciting.
A kitchen sink or a bathroom sink?
Kitchen sink. So we took out the old cast iron kitchen sink that was in there. My father and I did, which he told me to do something. I followed his directions to the T, and he changed midstream, and it crushed my middle finger. So yeah, like if you look right there, it's nice and pretty. Nice and pretty. It's purpley. I'm probably gonna lose the nail, but it was all worth it because the wife is happy. My wife is very happy with my sink.
Happy wife, happy life. I'm not gonna, and we're kind of at that age where we've passed that Mendoza line in life where instead of receiving the direction from our parents, we're the ones giving it.
But my dad, like he's done some plumbing stuff, so he's like, okay, just do this. Okay, no problem. And he goes, we're gonna push it up because it's heavy, and then we can grab and go. I'm like, that's very logical sense. I appreciate that because we're prying it up because it's a heavy son of a bitch. It's cast iron thing. So I'm like, okay. So he put it up. I grabbed the side just like this. And I'm like, you ready? He's like, yeah. And then he jerks and it goes boom. I'm like, what are you doing?
What happened to pull? There's pull.
It's like we're pulling it back.
I mean, my father, God love him to death, man. Like he does like same thing. Like so, my stepmom has this painting. It's a really nice painting she got years ago. Her and an old girlfriend got this giant Don Quixote painting thing, and it's been professionally framed. They've had the frame fixed a couple times over, right? But this sucker weighs probably 200 some pounds, right? This thing is it's like one of those whole wall sons of bitches, right? So as tends to happen, it fell down before they went on their last trip last month, right? So not a problem. They got hit an outlet, fixed that thing. Cool, they're good. They got the paint, they got the frame taken care of. And my dad's like, "Come over, give me a hand because this is so big. I need a hand. We're gonna actually anchor this properly, and we're gonna get." I'm like, fantastic. I'll come over for dinner. We'll take care of it, right? Go there. We get the painting up. He puts the screws in the walls, and he's like, "Let's go." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." So I'm holding this massive precious item to my stepmother, right? And he just like, hold on a second, we're gonna put it here. Like, no, you're not. No. We are going straight up, and you're putting that. What is like? Come on. We love you, dads.
Yes. We do.
Oh my God! So that's hey. Well, I hope everybody out there is doing well. I hope wherever you are, it's a beautiful fall day. Let's talk a little wrestling, shall we?
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk a little wrestling.
All right, well, let's talk about some wrestling. So, local stuff going on here in Kansas City, first of all. So, the last weekend was Journey Pro's free show, second annual free show they had at the Leavenworth Autumn Fest. I got that right? No, it wasn't Leavenworth. It was
Edwardsville, but you got Autumn Fest right.
I was so focused on the Autumn Fest that I fucked up the city.
Hey, whatever.
Edwardsville.
Somewhere in Kansas.
I live in Missouri. That's all right. Who apparently is the worst football team out of the two now. When the fuck did that happen? Micah, I swear if you bring this up at the next show, I'm abandon you. I'm just gonna punch you. I'm just gonna walk away. I'm gonna tell Hoodie to dump your ass. Edwardsville Autumn Fest was their free show, second annual free show. They had it last Saturday during the day. It was by all I didn't go, and I know Jamie was thinking about going, but ended up couldn't make it.
Yeah,
right?
we went to the Ren Fest instead.
Right. Yeah. So
spent way too much money at the Renaissance.
That's one of the two things you do at the Renaissance Fest. You get turkey legs and you spend too much goddamn money.
Oh, we got turkey legs. I pounded mine, and then the girls we got 3 total for the entire all 6 of us to share.
Right.
I ate 1 total, and the girls would share the rest. And I pounded mine pretty fast, and then the girls literally they got through half of it. I'm done. Do you want to eat it? I'm like, there's no room. Because those turkey legs are gargantuan.
The size of your fucking head, man. Oh,
it's like, I got nothing, guys. Oh
my God. Good old turkey legs. So we didn't go to it, but fantastic show by all accords. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of outside the ethos, so it didn't follow storylines. I think you had, for example, what was it? Was it Wyatt versus Anaya or something of that nature? And
it's Jeremy Wyatt and Anaya, I think.
Yeah, and you had Luke Langley was there. Heidi was there.
Heidi going against Renee Storm, who I've been dying to see, which really just makes me sad that I didn't get to see Renee Storm.
I know, and we were kind of hoping, because of all of this, there hasn't been any further announcements for next Friday's show for Journey Pro. It's happening in Edwardsville at the ball fields there, City Ball Field, but they haven't had any more match announcements. I assume there's going to be 1 or 2 more that are going to pop out over the weekend, early next week, right? That being said, we get a great 6-person tag between Reckoning and Howlett's. All 3 of them. Howlett's plus Young Boy. How about that? And we get Billy Starks, finally.
I'm freaking excited about Billy Starks going against Heidi. Obviously, my girls want to go. Megan wants to go. I told her there's no JDX as of right now. She's a little bummed. So, Justin, just let you know. But I think I've got the wife convinced. Maybe I'll find out by Friday. She's like, I'll let you know. So wish me luck getting my wife to her first indie show.
And this would be then with you, with all 3 of the girls, or
no Bailey, because Bailey's got to work.
Bailey's working. I didn't think she'd go anyway too.
Bailey won't go. But then Jessica, Audrey, and Megan. Thank you for the kids' tickets, Chris. Appreciate it.
Jamie's bank account, thanks very much.
Yeah, it's at $25 a pop. It's only $15 a pop.
So tickets are available for Journey Pro's Wild Thing next Friday night. 7:00 start bell time. I think it's 7
I believe it's 7:00.
JourneyProKC.com. Tickets still available. Like Jamie just said, there are kids tickets. So if you want, it's fantastic. It's a great family atmosphere being out at a ball field. A little bit of a walk to the bathrooms, but it's okay. It'd be a good time had by all. Other news going on locally, Central States Wrestling, which I know we don't talk a ton about, right? We went to a couple of their shows. Audrey had a blast.
She did. Hardcore Howlett for life.
And a Luigi Primo hater for life, just like yourself. And
yep.
I really can't stand him, but I love how much it just gets under, Jamie, hates this person.
I just don't get the gimmick, man. The gimmick just does not work for me.
Comedy gimmick, it is what it is. They announced that their next show is going to be Vendetta on remember the 5th of November. fantastic theming. Vendetta, 5th of November. And it's a new location. It's at the KCK Armory. So more of a centralized location because they were way, for me especially, I live up north. They were way down south in the metro. So they're now in KCK, right off of Parallel, I believe the Armory is.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's right near downtown, so it's right in the middle of KCK. It's a good central location, and in Kansas, so they can still do non-commission things. They also announced one match for the tickets, which go on sale tomorrow, and it is the Central States champion. So they have their own championship belt now. They had a belt for their previous name of the company, but now they have their own new belt, and they're going to have a new champion. It's going to be a fatal 4-way for the title. So it's going to be Jeremy Wyatt, Dak Draper, Camaro Jackson, and Moonshine Mantell for the first Central States champion. So
hell yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to that one, Jamie, because think I'm going to be in Columbia for a football game, for what it's worth.
Go watch your boys lose. I actually might be going to I might go to a Jayhawks football game first time in 20-ish years.
Yeah. Well, November 5th is against Kentucky. So we're probably going to lose that game. Unless, who knows? Hey, knock on wood, Tigers can get it together. We'll see what happens. But nothing else has been announced for the show other than that. So here's hoping that we get put together a good show. I like the location. It's a little bigger of a spot. It's more central. I think it's good. So good call for you guys, Central States.
Yeah, I agree.
We do like to, from time to time, talk about, as in time to time, every week, we like to highlight an independent wrestler that's out there that maybe you have heard, maybe you haven't heard of. Somebody that we like to spotlight. So, Jamie, I am assuming you have somebody ready for this week's independent wrestler spotlight.
I do. I really do. And this person has been on the biggest stage. That's not WWE.
It's Broadway. Oh, wait, no.
Right? They have been in AEW. They have been in TNA. Or, I'm sorry, Impact. I apologize.
6-1.
This person is what I would like to call the epitome of perseverance and owning their struggles.
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking about none other than Kylie Rae. Kylie, indeed. I don't know if people have follow her on Twitter and everything. She has been very, very open about her addiction issues and things like that. And I felt like, it's time to definitely give her a good spotlight because she is, like, by all accounts, like one of the nicest people anybody's ever met. She's an absolutely phenomenal wrestler. She's been sober for 11 months right now as of the 13th. So just a week ago. She's been sober for 11 months. That's absolutely amazing. Gotta give her props there.
Big round of applause.
Phenomenal wrestler, based out of Chicago. She's been on Impact. She's been on AEW. She freelance. She does a lot of stuff with freelance, obviously. Zello, you name it. She's all over the Chicago scene. She's all over everywhere. Like
she's done Warrior Wrestling. She's appeared in Journey Pro.
Yes, she has the best smile in the world. But you can follow her on all of the social media platforms at I am Kylie Rae. And Kylie, of course, is Kylie. And Rae is R-A-E. Sorry, R-A-E.
Smiley Kylie Rae. Good one, Jamie. Good one. She is we don't know her personally, but we've in the circles we've heard, fantastic person. And you're right. Give the woman some props for owning her demons because this industry chews people and chews them up and spits them out. So sometimes we got to recognize those like Eddie Kingston and others who talk about this. Kylie's become a big proponent, and for good reason. Congratulations on 11 months. Let's go for 12, Kylie.
Damn, Skippy. I'm in
right
on that.
Well, before we get to talk about Gangs in New York Part 2, I mean, Grand Slam part deux. I did want to make a mention here because I saw this in passing a couple of days ago, and it's just a thought that I had. Because do you know what Dynamite did last week, rating wise?
Over 1.1, right?
It was close to 1.2, I believe. I think if you round it up, it was like 1.19 or whatever. Did you see what Alvarez said Raw did this past Monday?
No.
159.
Ouch. I mean, Monday Night Raw going against Monday Night Football.
You're not wrong.
Monday Night Football wasn't even good though.
It was a doubleheader. They both were just utter blowouts. But
yeah, I didn't watch a single one of them.
I had on the background the Bills game because after 5 minutes, it was literally just background noise. It was not worth the time. But I mean, they have not been doing gangbusters number wise.
Yeah, I mean, they started out hot, and then since football season came back, it's like it's not like here's the thing. When I hate to be that guy in the heyday.
Do you though?
In the heyday of the Monday Night Wars, they were rocking 4s every single Monday.
Oh yeah.
Did not matter what they were up against. Rocking 4s. We are in a completely different time. I get it.
Right. TV itself is completely different now. I get that too. Yes.
But the thing for me is I don't believe in that excuse anymore. I've seen it affect other shows though. It usually affects like Dynamite because Dynamite moves to a different night or something like that. Dynamite's been affected that way. But when you're a flagship staple that you know at 7:00 Central, 8:00 Eastern, that show's gonna be on every single Monday, no matter what, you know it, and you're still choosing to watch football over it. It says something. It
says more about your product, and there's questions about that. Because the end result, and I haven't been the first couple of weeks I watched it. You did too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like we said, like we suspected, the overall product isn't. Now the matches are better. There actually is some better matches going on, and some people getting featured that maybe didn't get as much featuring going on. Io Shirai is now, Io Sky is now part of Dakota Kai's longest title reign. I love that tweet. It was fantastic. But it's still the same product for the most part. So it's to be expected they would bounce back some. And you're right. I think that we can't expect 4s, maybe. It's a different climate in general now. But you think that they're expecting higher than that is just what I'm getting at. And the fact that Dynamite is actually now approaching Raw numbers again. I'm really interested to see what Grand Slam did last night.
Grand Slam was great.
Do you think that this was better than last year's Grand Slam?
Yes, 100%.
I say I agree with you. I think, though, the opening match from last year's Grand Slam was the best of both these nights, and that includes last night's main event.
Last night's main event was
60-minute draw between Omega and Danielson, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It was a damn draw. I'm so over
I know
draws.
You hate draws. Yes, I get it.
There are winners and losers in life, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the better Grand Slam that happened from last night. What were some of your highlights?
Well, let's see.
There's only 5 matches. There was 5 matches, and there's a couple promos here and there, but there's only 5 matches, which I think I'm fine with the way they did the matches as being just 5 with one women's match. Honestly,
I want to save my number 1 bullet for last. Obviously,
okay,
my best bullet. But I will start with this bullet. The Wheeler Yuta MJF conversation was fire. Like, this might be the best MJF we've seen.
100%.
And I clearly am a devil worshiper.
I love the fact that it was almost, wasn't quite, it was almost the biggest cheer of the night MJF got. There's one,
It was to that point, and that's my silver bullet.
No. There was one just before that was higher than him. A different act, let's just say. That was
you talking about the Acclaimed?
Yeah.
Okay. I there's another one that got even bigger.
Well, there was a couple, but it was like the pop was massive for him. Who cares? We're measuring dicks now. Who cares? It gives a shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The pop was massive for him, and he ate it up, but also was as heel as possible. And the people responded, in my opinion, the best way possible. There have been people out there, pundits, who have said, and maybe we are one or two of them that at one point might have dropped this, just saying, that MJF needs to embrace it and go full face, right?
Yeah.
No. This was, like you said, perfect. He got the pop, took the pop, and was even bigger of a dick.
It was glorious. Like the shade he threw at Danielson and Willie Regal.
Oh,
maybe he can give you
the black belt cuckold club. You mean
popping pills? The cuckold club. Oh my god! I was dying. I was dying when he came on. Like Wheeler did a good job with him too. Wheeler got a good pop. You know, like people love themselves with Wheeler, but oh my god,
Ooh.
MJF. Like the talk about scrambling his brain with Bryan Danielson, B-Dog, or yeah. Like,
I mean,
my god,
MJF versus Yuta. Who the feud you didn't know you needed, but that makes all the sense in the world. It does.
And it gives him time till
it buys time until full gear. So because otherwise you have to put after tonight you have to put MJF right in that main feud, you know, and we're still months away from full gear. So you're not giving MJF winning a title if it's not a big like this is the only other time it would happen was last night. Yeah, you're not giving it away if it's not a pay-per-view, except for maybe Grand Slam, right? That was it. So I love that, and I think there's going to be some good shit that comes from Yuta versus MJF.
Yeah, and Grand Slam, 3 of the 5 matches were pay-per-view quality matches.
I'm with you there. I am with you there. What did you think about the opener with Jericho defeating Claudio to take the title? This match I felt like there was a lot of disjointing in this match. The match, mostly on Jericho's end, felt sloppy.
It did, but it didn't. Like it felt like it was chaos in a good way.
It felt like a good match to see live, but
I watched it again because I missed the very first like 5 minutes of the match.
Okay.
Because Audrey had a softball game. She won 6-5, by the way.
Way to go, Audrey.
But anyway, watching this match, it's like it felt good, and then I appreciated the outcome because that outcome makes a lot of sense to me. And here's why. When AEW first came out, who was their champ?
Chris Jericho.
And why would you put the belt on him and not one of their faces?
Because he's a recognizable face to put on the poster. This is the argument we made about Claudio over Gresham. Yes.
Yes, and then you just did it to him because
he's
Jericho's
an even more
bigger deal.
Jericho.
This, I say, within the next 2 weeks.
Oh.
2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Before October 15th, so 3 weeks. 3 weeks, we'll have an ROH deal announced.
Something. Streaming show. Something. Right?
Yep. I feel it coming. This makes a lot of sense for that step.
A ton of sense. There's good storyline with the Daniel Garcia angle as well, because Garcia is now the ROH Pure Champion, in there also, right? So, but I'm with you there. I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong. And it's been rumored that, and it actually was. I don't know if it was WB Paramount or if it was. I don't even know who owns who or where Warner Media, WB, HBO, who the fuck ever. But I read a excerpt kind of in passing about how they're very happy with the rating success of Dynamite and Rampage, and they want to expedite getting another show, more product out there, yada yada yada, something of that nature, right? Which they've mentioned in the past, in passing before. But I'm with you. With ROH, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. 3 weeks. 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. You know, like I said, I didn't hate the match. Just felt like I said a little bit, which is fine for an opener because we had Certified Banger after that. You're ending with a massive fucking match. I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Was the next match your match of the night outside of the main event?
Yeah, the Acclaimed.
I should
versus...
say moment of the night. Let's go with that.
Well, no, we're gonna save that.
That's a good point.
But the Acclaimed, I felt like that was the get right. We messed up from All Out moment. And the pop for the Acclaimed was deafening.
It is
when
real,
they even
y'all.
came out. When they came out, Max Caster's rap was again
very good.
But then when they got the win, the way they got the win, and how it was marginally cleaned. Yes, there was a famouser involved, which made it even better. The crowd did not give two shits about that. They were all behind the Acclaim because Anthony Bowens is correct. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. And
so good.
I'm trying to remember when we talked about all these young teams. Remember when we talked about those young teams?
I was going to go to that. Yes. We talked about that because it was maybe a month or two into the pandemic because they were leaning heavily in all their Jacksonville shows on the tag team roster because they had all these young tag teams who were able to be stuck in Jacksonville with them, right? And that's where the Acclaimed, and I like how they even made mention of it, Excalibur did, during the broadcast, right? Because during the pandemic, you had the Acclaimed and Top Flight and, all these young tag teams that they have legitimately help to carry the brunt of programming. And we made mention of, was it Private Party, the Acclaimed, and I can't remember if Top Flight or not. I think it was Top Flight was the third one we had.
Yeah, Top Flight.
We mentioned that is the modern, that is, if AEW is smart, that's their 10 years from now, that's their modern day rendition of Hardy's, Dudley's, Christian Edge, right?
Yeah.
And my God, like how far they've come. I remember the first time I saw Max come up and do the scissor to the A that Bowens threw down, and immediately like Warner Media was like, fucking stop that. So it became like taboo, and now it is like the biggest marketing push in all of wrestling. Fantastic.
It's great.
Oh my God. So I was all for it. You're right. It was due. It was the correction needed, but I think in a way it played better because it was their hometown, and gave it this seminal moment for them at Grand Slam. Because if they got the titles at All Out, that would have been fantastic. All it didn't need the extra buys from them, though, right? This helped for Grand Slam, I feel.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this match too. It was a great match. Like Keith Lee trying to do a moonsault.
What was it, Keith Lee?
Hey,
how about Keith Lee doing a stand-up Hurricane Rana?
Yeah. Yeah.
what is
can
this?
that guy not do at this point? No, like the entire match, top to bottom, was just beautiful. But like when the Acclaimed won, that was the second biggest pop of the night. And I thought at that time, like, yep, that's the moment of the night. That's it. The Acclaimed got it. Acclaimed got it.
And
No,
Tony,
I was wrong.
TK was teasing earlier in the day that you got big surprises planned for both Rampage and for Dynamite versions of Grand Slam, right? Immediately people are like, oh, it's going to either be a Max cash-in or it's going to be a Adam Cole coming back. And I would have believed Adam Cole if I didn't see Adam Cole on Twitch at about 1 o'clock Central Time on Wednesday. Like, nope, he's not. He did not make that trip to New York yet. So I knew it wasn't him, but there was a bit of surprise. Do you want to do this before the main or after?
Let's do it before the main because I mean that's the grand
The main
finale.
needs its stage. So let's go for it. Oh, the match we're not really going to talk about. Pac won over Orange Cassidy. It was okay. It was your go get a beverage match. It was a great match. It was fun and entertaining.
Great match, but
in the scheme of things here, it was like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Pac did cheat to win, so I want to put a pin in that. Like, is he going to be heel Pac again? Because that was my favorite Pac. Shocker. I know Jamie loves to heel. Oh my
heel
God.
anything is Jamie's favorite version of that anything.
That's accurate.
That's accurate. It just move on. It's accurate as hell.
Macho Man. I think I like face Macho Man better because he was just high on coke the whole time.
You didn't like gangster rap Macho Man?
Not a whole lot.
Oh,
What up, Mach? Oh my God, that that entrance music was so bad.
I remember his music video he had for that.
Yeah.
Like they actually released that shit. It was like, wow.
It was bad. But anyway, so you had the fatal four-way of the women.
Only one women's match, but it's okay. I'll give you a pass this time, Tony. But next time,
it was a very quick match. So here's the thing: this was not the best match of the night by any stretch of the imagination. It's what happened after the match. So obviously,
there were some good spots in the match. I do want to say, like Serena Deeb's double rollover into whatever trying to pin two people at once thing. Serena Deeb did some black magic fuckery in this match that I love.
She's Dean Malenko. She called it herself, and I'm supporting it. I didn't at first want to.
You're on board with it now? All right.
Homegirl's the woman of 1,000 holds. I'm gonna give her flowers because she's really good.
She's
so you had Serena Deeb, you had Dr. Britt Baker DMD, you had Tony coming out in Harley Quinn gear, and then you had yeah, but then you had a Pokemon sighting, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, gotta catch them all. Athena as Cubone.
I love how big of a nerd Athena is, and she doesn't care about. She doesn't hide it at all. I love it.
No, but people love her for it too. This match had lots of great spots, like that springboard flip thing that Athena did off of the ropes into almost trying to get into her her finisher, or secondary finisher, whatever it's called. But the big thing was Athena had Britt Baker on her back, and she caught Serena Deeb on her chest, and then she went to go fall back. She landed on Britt's face. Britt got a bloody nose.
Her nose again. It's like, my God, this woman and her nose.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna work out beautifully because again, she got the bloody face, everything like that. Somehow, some way, Tony finds a way to retain. Okay,
right. It was clean too. It was clean. There wasn't a lot. There was like one spot where on the outside where Rebel, or as Jimmy likes to say,
Rebel,
got involved, but there wasn't a lot of shenanigans in the match, and Tony did win clean. It was a collection of spots though, for the most part, but still it was good. Not quite like I said. I think last year when you had Ruby Soho, Ruby making her main event debut against Britt, I feel like that was a little bit better of a match, but it was given more time too. So that's not the story though, folks.
That is definitely not the story whatsoever, because after the match, Britt takes some of her blood, rubs it on Tony's face. I do want to call that part out because I loved it. Then she starts beating her up, and then here comes Jamie Hayter. Like, oh my God,
The
here we go.
inevitable term, right? It's going to happen.
We're getting it. She pulls her off. They look at each other, and then they both start attacking Tony Storm. No, it's the ultimate swerve.
Where was your head at the time?
Pissed. I want to see those two go at it so bad. Give Jamie the Brit rub to put her into superstardom.
I feel like because of what happened, I get it, but I'm with you. Like at the time when it happened, I'm like, that's lazy. It's like, are you pushing this off to be a thing that you're going to do at Full Gear? Because you have to do this. You have to turn her. I mean, you have to. It's not even an option in my opinion anymore, right? It's like you're just burying her if you're going to continuously have her fall back into the stable. Because it's now twice, maybe 3 times, but twice that I know of where she almost was on the outs and came back in.
Yeah. So they started beating the hell out of her. Tony gets curb stomped by Britt, and Britt gets her glove out, getting ready to do the lockjaw, and then music hits. And it's like, okay.
We don't know this music. It's brand new music to everybody.
Yeah. Unless you follow a certain band.
Right. The tell was blatantly obvious if you were a fan of this person outside of their past existence. Let's put it that way.
Yes. So music hits. Sraya is all elite, aka the artist formerly known as Paige.
Music
wearing
from her husband's
Effie's
band.
Fucking jacket. I'm sorry.
It's absolutely Effie's jacket. That's copyright infringement.
Stole Effie's jacket. That's twice now AEW's done that. They had the black version that Jericho wore.
He wore a purple version. He wore Effie's original,
the purple. That's
his
right.
original jacket, and then now his pink jacket she stole.
This is why we can't have nice things, folks. But anyway, humongo pop. Because it's like, oh my God. So this is what I really want to talk about.
Okay.
What does this mean to you?
I thought about that as the show was going on because there was a leaked report from a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember when I saw it. I said that over the summer, Paige Saraya had talks with Tony Khan about AEW, this and that, right? Apparently, she's worked hard, therapy and all this stuff, and to get herself to a spot where she could wrestle again, right? Shit. Kurt Angle came back how many times, right? I mean, he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck and then wrestled in WWE. There also is the undeniable truth that her last appearance in front of a camera, other than a backstage interview show, which now everybody except Renee Paquette was part of AEW. I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
And her husband is John Moxley. So it is what it is. Was being a stable leader of Valet. So what does this mean for her, AEW, and the women's division? I am unsure what the plan is. It feels like she's going to be brought in as talent. I know Madison Rayne was brought in and announced in a press conference as kind of a behind-the-scenes coach, executive, lead of the women's division, and also going to do some wrestling. And she has. She's done minor stuff, tag team things. She made a couple appearances on Dynamite just to kind of check that off her box, right? But mostly she's been doing lower stuff, building up other talent, working with the girls. I don't know if that's what he's bringing in her for. it feels like she's being brought in as a actual wrestler, although I think it would make more sense to have her as a stable leader.
I agree. I agree with that statement.
But I don't know. What do you think?
I think this was 110% to legitimize their women's division.
I agree with that statement more than you can even imagine.
So their women's division, as you and I have waxed poetically for a long time, has just, it's been missing something. Like, it's getting better. It's gotten a lot better, like amazingly better from where it was. They just needed something to get them over the hump. And I 100% believe her name alone, just the name, will get him there. Just like what CM Punk did, as much as we don't like what he said, he did and all those things, and but he got them over the hump to get them into a new promised land.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she doesn't have the character flaws he does. She has her own different ones.
Move on from CM Punk. Move on from him. Yeah.
But anyway, like, I agree. I think you spare her. You don't use her very often.
If she wants to wrestle a little bit, give her some of that opportunity. Make it,
yeah.
Be safe about this.
Get her in a 6-woman tag on Dynamite.
Sure.
Have her use sparingly. Have her have maybe she does do a title run, but she's not that defending title type person. She's got her peeps around her, and they use her sparingly, and she only wrestles once a month, that type of thing. But she is definitely something I see as the future of the women's division for the women that are already there. Not that she is the end all be all, like whatever. I say her name alone is gonna make the star shine brighter for Britt and for Statlander when she comes back, and Athena. Like, she brings that legitimacy that they needed in order to make their stars even bigger.
Right,
and
because
that's the way I feel about it.
Because you look at their other additions that they have come in. They brought in Ruby at All Out last year. Hey, Ruby. And, that was we were in the audience. That was a massive pop. It was wanted by all wrestling fans, and it was a feel-good moment. And then they didn't really know what to do with her. Then they bring in Athena, and the same thing. Giant pop, all this stuff. They just don't know what to do with her, right? And it's like time and time again. And Toni Storm, they have got her to the point, put the belt on her, but it's like
in 6 consecutive weeks on Dynamite. I do want to point that out. They have not done that with any other woman except for one.
Right. So I mean, and we all know why that is. We're not going to dwell into it. Why Toni Storm is getting that TV time. Let's be honest. But I agree with you. I think it's good if they're going to. If TK is serious about expanding the women's division's clout, right? Because he gets asked about this at every press junket I see. And he is very much defensive about it. He feels it's in a good spot. He feels it's good. He feels this and that. And everybody's like, what the hell are you doing with this one match bullshit? And why are we getting, it's like, and yes, they're featured elsewhere and other things, but we've seen those matches on Dark and Dark Elevation where the arena's half full because people are coming and leaving. So hopefully you're right. I think that it's not dissimilar from the idea of Jericho being ROH champion, right? You need a face to get the eyes, and the eyes get the attention, and the attention gives everybody else that stage to stand on.
Yep. I think that is a very smart move, Tony. Especially with everything else that's been going on in the past 2 weeks. Very smart move. Because honestly, I hate to say this, their ratings have been really good without certain people.
Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, last week they did almost 1.2. I'm really interested, I'll say it again, in seeing what last night's show did. Do I think it beat Dynamite or Raw? No. Do I think it might have got closer to it? Yes, I do. Especially because of what their main event was.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, that main event fucked so hard.
Well, we're there. Let's hop in bed with it and fuck.
Yeah, your thoughts.
Okay, so we've seen this match before at Double or Nothing this past February. Is that right?
Yeah, no, not Revolution.
Revolution. Okay, whichever one is in the winter, in the beginning of the year. Revolution. Moxley versus Danielson for the AEW title. The right two people to be in there. Honest to God, you can't go wrong having the strap on either one of these guys. And they were playing it beforehand heavily about Moxley, but it very much story-wise is wide open. You know that the next big roadblock for whoever wins this match is MJF. In fact, if you need a reminder, he was sitting in the luxury box by himself with the chip in his lap watching this and being shown on the big screen while the match is going on, basically. So
yeah, that's their Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah,
is that chip.
The poker chip. FYI, guys, in case you need a reminder, sort of thing. The match was good. The match was outstanding. The match was technical plus physical.
Mm-hmm.
For people, two guys who were in the same stable, it had that kind of that old school, not traditional storyline feel to it. There's a lot of matches we've talked about in the past that have been those ones that was saying to us. One of my favorite matches as a kid growing up was Hogan Warrior from Mania 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It was the first time WWE that I can remember being that young did champion versus champion match, especially at their biggest pay-per-view, but face versus face too. And it's happened amongst other times as well. You had that a lot of time, especially like post-Attitude Era in WWE, where they're trying to cultivate different storylines and how they're going with it. So it's not an old trope, but it's one that can be outstanding or just meh. And this was outstanding. They didn't dwell on it. Yes, they're in the same faction. There wasn't animosity between them, but there was that competitive fervor I felt.
I agree.
And that's what I liked about this match so much. Even though I prefer more of the flippy spinny shit. I like all the stuff that's out there, and this absolutely was a technical showcase, and it was fantastic. Since it is in your wheelhouse, talk about the match a little bit, Jamie, because I know that you loved probably almost every second of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got cattle mutilation, you got a double handstand slap contest, which was amazing. I don't know how they did it.
Was that the double upside down leg crab thingy that they did?
Yeah,
that's what I wrote. I didn't know. With their legs intertwined and they're sure.
Oh my god! This match had everything you'd want. I don't know. It legit had the best Bryan Danielson I've seen. It definitely had the best Moxley. Both of their best versions. Not saying they both have had better matches. It's not what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get roasted for saying it, I'm saying you got their best versions going at it. So one wasn't hurt, wasn't anything. It was 100% clean. The technical prowess of both those men is elite. Obviously all elite wrestling, but I'm
look
not
at play on words there.
But it was, oh my god! I was very excited for this match. It came to the logical conclusion because we all want Moxley, MJF too.
I still stand by my statement. I still feel at this time in the company, it's best to put the belt on Danielson. But you're right. The match that the better match, the better storyline is Mox MJF.
It just sings to my heart because Mox will drop it to MJF, and this will get MJF's title run going. And oh my god, The thought of MJF as AEW World Champion
It's gonna be glorious.
and what he's gonna do on the stick.
Oh,
Oh my god. Just like I I honestly for once don't know what to say here because I don't know what he's gonna say as champion.
that's a great point. And Double or Nothing is in, or is it Full Gear is
Full
in
Gear.
Jersey, so
And
it's gonna
a
be
month,
right
6
in his
weeks,
back
8
back.
weeks.
Yeah, right in his backyard, sort of. So I mean, Moxley winning, and he won it clean, and they were running late, and they want to stick with it. I believe, don't quote me on this because I looked it up before we started recording, but I couldn't find anything because they ended it with Regal's in the ring. He grabbed the belt. He was going to put the belt around Moxley's waist, and then Danielson snatched it away. I believe Danielson then put the belt around Moxley's waist.
He did. I confirmed it. It was
Okay.
on.
Yep. So
And they did Rampage right after that, and I guess Sting
I
faced the
found
Great Muta.
I found that spoiler out. I was trying to stay away from any spoilers because they're doing a 2-hour Rampage tomorrow, and I didn't want to see any spoilers. And I saw the Great Muta. I was like, God damn it! So
Yeah, I saw that and one other thing, which actually Tony kind of spoiled himself too.
well, don't tell me that other thing. I haven't seen that other spoiler yet. I'm gonna try and stay away from it. I'll probably won't, but you guys let us know what your thoughts were about Grand Slam. Do you think it was better than last year's as a whole? Are you happy with the decisions made with Moxley, with the Acclaimed, with Jericho, Saraya? Give us your thoughts down below. Give us a comment. Give us a tweet. Other thoughts about the night?
It was excellent. I think it was the right statement at the right time, at the right place. It was a big win for AEW. I hope they continue this. There's been a lot of chatter that we might hear results of the independent whatever in coming days. I personally don't think we're ever going to hear anything. I think that's going to be all kept in house. And basically, you might not ever see CM Punk back, and you'll probably eventually see the Bucks and them back.
Yeah, you'll see Bucks and Omega back.
Opinion.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure Bucks and Omega will be back on sometime not too distant future. Omega currently is in Japan doing stuff over there. So there's that. But I fully expect them to be back in AEW on TV not too distant future. And whether it's his decision or the company's, I agree with you. I think CM Punk probably won't. And we've talked about that enough. So I feel like the show, this is my final thought about Grand Slam. So I feel much like you do. I feel like the show set the right tone for how AEW is going to move forward in a better way. Now, there was reports about before the show, again, all talent meeting, and from everything I read about that, because I read a little bit after the show and before we started recording, everybody said it was a super positive thing, that there was really good stuff. There wasn't any negatives that came out of that. Whether that is Tony taking, more people's input and spreading some delegating a little bit more, who knows, right? But I feel like the end result that we got here, if you notice, JR was not on commentary at all this past night. I think he was in the building.
Oh, so do I.
I think he was at Gorilla. I really do. I think he was at Gorilla with TK all night. Because if you want somebody to run a wrestling show, you have JR run that wrestling show if you know what's good for you.
I mean, he did it in the 90s.
He's been doing it for 40 years, for God's sake. So, I feel like this was, like, I agree with everything you said about the show itself, but I feel like it told a good showcase of what AEW is going to be moving forward. It's going to have the feel of the original AEW, but be a better polished product. You're still going to be focused on excellent wrestling, but we understand that we need to sell this as well. That's why you have the certain names that you have, but we are putting a key point to definitely make sure that the spotlight is ready and pointed and angled towards those people that we are bringing up. MJF, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, The Acclaimed, Britt Baker. That's what my takeaway was. Still would like to see Ruby on it, though. Hey, Ruby.
Well, when she heals up from getting dumped on her face.
That's the honest to God's truth. Best of will wishes to her and everybody else. Any other thoughts you had about this past week, and just anything in general?
No,
Life, football, anything?
I mean, I've added a few more to my wall. I got Zicky now here beside me, and I got the first couple of Chicago and GPA and Laney Luck above me. I also have my
Mr.
Max.
311. Excuse me. He likes to go by now, so.
Mr. 311, yes. But I also have my one signed by Max that was supposed to be Heidi and Max. It's actually funny. It's Max signs it and then says like "Welcome to the Wasteland," and then it goes "Not pictured Heidi," and Heidi Hauser signed it because we wanted one with both of them.
That's good.
Couldn't find one, but it's all right. And then Jessica and Audrey are keeping their JDX and Warhorse in their room. So
big surprise.
I hope to be adding to this at Journey Pro. Probably gonna get one from Billy, because I think Billy's gonna, as soon as she turns 18, is gonna sign some mega deal with somebody.
Ooh, yes, she is. She's getting money thrown at her for sure.
So she's gonna be worth something. So might as well get something now, you know. And yeah, we'll go from there. And I owe SK Bishop a hat purchase, so I need to buy his hat when I come. I'm gonna come hatless so I can wear his hat.
There you go. I might take another shot this coming weekend on his website. It probably won't work again, but I'm gonna try. One day I'm gonna have that tie-dye N64 shirt. I will. I will.
Oh, forgot. Happy birthday, Campbell Soup Myers. Everybody go out to Twitter. Wish him a happy birthday. Campbell Myers, one half of the premiere. He's been on the show. Huge High School Musical fan. For those who don't know.
Loves that High School Musical. Yeah. We're all in this together with you, Campbell. So, well, that's what we got, guys. Definitely give our friends of the show some shout. And if you're going to be in Kansas City, you're going to be near Edwardsville, Kansas, next Friday evening, come join us at a ball field for a wrestling night show. It's going to be a good time. So we'll have more next week about that. I believe, like we surmise, that we'll get a more finalized card sometime early next week. We'll see what happens. Like, what I as the third time I've said, I am dying to know what this show did. Especially with Raw being at 159. I am dying. We haven't really dwelled on numbers for months, but this time I am. Because the momentum, I think the momentum is, 1.3 sounds about right. The momentum, though, I feel like is just going with AEW again. And speaks a lot for putting good wrestling out there on TV. So that's what we got. Same bad time, same bad channel next week. And yeah, keep an eye out. Like I said, we're working on some other things here. We'll let you guys know. Follow us on Twitter. Give you all the updates. But that's all we have. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got 4 words for you. Everybody loves the Acclaimed.
Scissor me. We'll practice this for next time. All right, guys. See you next week.
Peace.